So here's an overview of the greens aerification process. We were running 2 pro cores. Our tine set up to this in the spring, we pull 1 solid, and then in between, we pull a core, and in between we have a solid tine in there. We found punching less holes in the spring allows for a little bit quicker recovery, makes the golfers happy. In the fall, we'll replace that middle solid tine with a coring tine and pull about twice as many plugs. So you can see they run all the way through the collar. And then at some point here, one of these aerifiers will break off and start doing all of our collection areas and our approaches. So they'll go out 10-15 yards off the front of the green, and they'll also pick up all of our collection areas and roll-off areas beside the green as well. Now we'll jump on the cart here and take you to the second step of the process. So bear with me. We've got a pretty good relationship with the staffing agency here in Omaha, and so we utilize some of their resources for cleanup. So you can see on those aerifiers there is a little, I'm not sure what the best way to describe it is, a little frame that hangs off the back that pulls the cores and collects them into piles on the edges of the greens. And then we'll bring in extra help, and they'll go on and they will clean off whatever's left on the green and then walk the perimeters of the green and scoop everything up in the back of a cart, which leaves us with a pretty clean surface by the end of the process. You can see the piles here. That takes us to the third step in the process, which is top dressing. So next we'll lay a thick layer of sand across the green, usually about 2 top dressers worth of sand, and we'll start brushing that in. You can see here 1 load of sand's been placed on this green, and then a second one will come in. I don't have one actively on a green, so I can't really show you footage of that, but I'll take you to the guys brushing. So following the application of the sand, we'll use a pair of rotary brushes and kind of move that sand, get that sand to fall down into the holes. And that's what we've got going on over here on 6. The process started at about 6:30, and those aerifiers were on the final green of the day. You saw the cleanup crew was 1 green behind them. So those guys will finish up, eat lunch, and they'll come back and do handwork, trying to get all the holes filled and all the sand moved around with brooms and blowers and drag mats. Here you can see the brushing process. The goal here is to get every hole full of sand. So he'll just work his way around, trying to fill up every hole. And that's what you want to see. Usually we have a top dresser sitting on hand, and Jeff, who's running that, will spot top dress as Sean finds areas that need a little bit more sand. The goal is to try and put as little sand down as possible. The more you end up having on the green, the more cleanup you have to do. We just want to fill the holes and leave a light layer of sand on the top of the surface. Then what would normally follow Sean, I don't think we have anybody actively doing it, is we would follow with a cocoa mat. It's just a fiber mat, kind of like a industrial strength floor mat, and they'll pull that around. That'll level out the sand, even out any of the windrows that the rotary brush created. And then after that, we'll roll the green. We get a 1.5 ton double drum roller, something you'd see in a paving application. And then we'll roll the greens once just to smooth everything out, take out the tire tracks from all the traffic and any heaving that the aerifier caused. And that process has started. That's probably one of the slowest parts of the process. Here you can see Adam's going around and hand sweeping the green. So this green here is rotary brushing is done. All that's left is one pass over with the cocoa mat, and then you can see over there, let's drive over there, you can see the 1.5 ton roller working. The final step then in the process is to run over the greens one more time with a cocoa mat, just to knock down or smooth out any sand that this vibratory roller brought up. You can see here that the vibratory roller tends to pick up a little sand and move it to the surface. So that cocoa mat will be used to knock those down. And then we'll walk the greens with buckets of sand, identify individual holes. We've got funnels, place the funnels in the holes, and hand fill everything so that when we walk off this green at the end of the day, every hole ideally is filled.